So we're looking at factoring trinomials, and we'll be looking at the different situations that we can face. But first, I want to make sure that you understand how to find the GCF, or how to remove the GCF from a series of terms. So we have three terms in the first problem, in the first expression, and we want to remove the common term between each of those terms. If you think about it, what do they all share? What is the greatest common factor? That's what GCF means, or stands for. And what that means is, what if I was to write 4x squared, okay, out, I would get 2 times 2 times x times x, okay? If I was to write 20x, if I wrote that out, I'll get 2 times 2 times 5 times x. If I was to write 16 out, I'll get 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So we've essentially prime factorized them. Now, what is the greatest amount of factors that they share? Well, notice that they all share a 2. All share another 2, okay? Do they all have x's? No, they don't. And so they don't share that. Notice that's all they share there. And when you take out this 2, the first 2 they share, that would just count as 1, 2. When you take out the second 2 they share, that will also count as 1, 2. What is the greatest common factor? It's 4. So you can simplify that problem by changing it to 4 into x squared minus 5x plus 4. Now notice that it equals, if I was to distribute that 4 back in, it should give me back what I wanted in the beginning. Now you look at x squared minus x plus 4, and the term in front of x squared right now is 1. That term is called a, okay, and a is equal to 1. The term in front of x is b, in this case it's negative 5, and that constant by itself is 4. So this trinomial has 3 coefficients. A is 1, b is negative 5, and c is 4. Do we know of 2 numbers that multiply to give 4 and add to give negative 5? Well, I can think of negative 4 and negative 1. Negative 4 times negative 1 is 4. Negative 4 plus negative 1 is negative 5. So the final answer to this problem is 4 into x minus 4, x minus 1. This will be a factored, we've factored the trinomial there, okay? Now, with the second problem, all I wanted you to do or to learn was how to factor by grouping. And so you just take those first 2 terms and those last 2 terms, and you factor out what they both terms share. So in this case, they both have b and they both have 5. So you have 5b into 2a plus 3, okay? And then in the other term, they both have 2, so 2 into a plus 2a plus 3, okay? So notice that we take out, you take out the GCF from both, sets of terms. It's called factoring by grouping, okay? And notice that 2a plus 3 is common to both of them. So you factor that out, okay? Imagine this being 5bx plus 2x, okay? Imagine if that was the case. Well, you would factor out the x and get 5b plus 2, correct? That's what you would do. You factor out the x. Well, treat that 2a plus 3. Think of it as its own term, entity there, and it's coming out, and that gives you 2a plus 3, okay? Imagine what we did with the x, and what are you left with? You're left with 5b plus 2. So that's the final answer to the problem, and that's factoring by grouping. Have a wonderful day.